think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment.
And so we say to all in this nation who dare listen to us, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
Tell me, brother, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, sister.
It's all about money. Holding you there, sucking the government with funding, the state. Holding you in college for 4 and 5 years, when if the college taught you right, you could be out of there in 2 years. As the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if you start where you want it to end, start there and see how fast the people's minds will grab it. Before you know it, you have attention and you have devotion, because you are working with the speed of the new mind that God is creating. And that's why the world, this world, is falling. You got people so wise and so wicked. They know how smart the children are, but they intentionally dumb them down. Because if you're too smart, you'll peep the game that's being played. We can't have you too smart, Negro. You'll see the game that we're playing on you, and you'll revolt against us. And we can't have that. So let's put more fluoride in the water. They say it's to protect your teeth from having cavities. Lies. We didn't have fluoride in the water when I was coming up, and we hardly knew what a cavity was. But all your mouths are filled with cavities, and you got fluoridation in all the water. But it's a kind of a chemical that dulls, makes you susceptible. You don't realize that the government is plotting, not your rise and the rise of the American people, but to dumb them to a degree where the few people that control the media and the money can herd you like sheep into directions that are destructive to you, but advantageous to them. Who are the 85%? Who are the 10%? And who are the 5%? The 85% are the poor, poison animal eaters. You eat the wrong kind of food that dumbs you mentally. You believe in a mystery God. Listen to me. You don't see the law of cause and effect. That's right. You know, if the effect is real, the cause is just as real as the effect. Right? But you see the rain and you attribute it to a spook God. When in reality, that's right. Teach us. So you sitting around waiting for some mystery God to pop out of the sky to do for you. You could unite and do for yourself. Yes, sir. Come on. You don't want knowledge. You have faith. Come on, leader. God will make a way. Come on. That's what we say. God will make a. He will. But he'll help you to make one for yourself. That's right. It's not that you don't have faith in God, but faith has to be supported or complemented with knowledge. You don't sit around and watch TV all day saying God will make a way. How the world turns.
Search for the bar.
General Hospital, which I'm always in, but can't pay the bill. All my children. I'm not trying to be funny, but you're being purposely dumbed. Yes, sir. Why is the media controlled by just a few people? All the mass media. What is that for? See? You can be herded now.
We're going to stop right there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And good morning. Welcome to the Prince Carter Show. Prince Carter Speaks on this Sunday morning. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for the words of encouragement that I've been getting all week, man. Folks have been reaching out. And we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. We got a lot to talk about. One of the things we're going to be talking about with when I get Keith in, we're going to be talking about home ownership and how you can become a homeowner and what incentives are out there that a lot of folk don't know about, because there are things that are out there and available that a lot of people don't know about. So Keith and I are going to try our best to make sure we get that information out today. Also, as always, folks, we never have a topic here. You can always call in and talk about anything you like. One of the things I'm going to kick it off with this morning, I was talking to one of my customers yesterday at the shop. And by the way, this program is sponsored in part by King Prince Barbecue, located at 2700 Union. And you can always get some ribs, rib tips, snooks, pork steaks, chicken, or hot links fresh off the grill at King Prince Barbecue, 2700 Union. Yeah, so I was talking to this customer on yesterday, and we were talking about the driving situation in the city of St. Louis, or the lack thereof. Folks running red lights, speeding, running amok. And, you know, to be truth be told, it almost appears as if it has become acceptable. And it's becoming acceptable for this type of driving. It's the new driving norm that young folks are just running amok with. And there's no accountability. There's no traffic enforcement. We don't have anyone, in my opinion, that's out there enforcing traffic laws. And I think I know why. I'm going to share that with you all in the next segment here. But back to this traffic thing. One of the reasons that I personally am deeply concerned about this reckless driving and running red lights and stop signs. Not only will it kill people, but it's causing our insurance rates to go up because of so many accidents that are being reported in our community, in our neighborhood. The insurance companies monitor traffic accidents in given zip codes and given communities. And they adjust our rates accordingly. So I've been told. But if there's no enforcement and these people are going to continue to run amok and continue to have all these accidents and continue to tear up all these different personal properties and what have you, who is going to be responsible for that? Who's going to be held accountable? Whose job is it to make sure? Because I want to know. I want to know whose job is it to make sure that the community is being properly policed, as well as accountability for folks running red lights, stop signs, speeding, and just riding amok. And we as a people, we as a community are going to have to, at some point, I hope we don't wait until it's too late, but these insurance prices are constantly going up in our communities. I don't know about you and your insurance, if you're lucky enough, it hasn't, but the insurance is, I'm paying way more insurance today than I was 2 years ago. And it's steady inching up. And I'm getting older. I thought when you got older, your insurance was supposed to go down, but that's not the case. And I attribute it to the number of traffic accidents that are being reported in our communities and our neighborhoods, as well as the accidents. It's just, just accidents. And what we have to figure out is, how can we do something about it? What can we do about it? And those are some of the things that I hope we talk about. If you want to call in and talk, the number is 314-732-1212. That's 314-732-1212. You can call in and talk about it and give us your take on it, because I really would like to know what other folk think and feel about this situation. And am I the only one that's concerned about that? That's what I hope the answer is no, but I'm really beginning to feel like a solo bolo with this traffic situation in our city, and folks are telling me that it's happening in more places than we know, and I just want to know if folks really have a clue as to what we can do, as well as which direction to go in. I don't know. It's just so much to take on this morning, just to figure out some solutions. And I like to talk about solutions, man. Folks sit up and complain about this, that, and the third, but what's the solution? That's what we need to find out. What's the solution, and how can we fix this problem? And how many more people are going to have to lose their lives before we as a community demand accountability? Huh? I'm going to take a quick short break right here, folks. We're going to come right back. We're going to have Bishop on with us, and more of Town Hall Community Radio. Prince Carter Speaks on the Information Superhighway. This is your Community Radio.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
More and more people need help, but they just can't find it, folks. They need help, but they just can't find it. Welcome back to the Prince Carter Show. I'm your host, Prince Carter, on this beautiful Sunday morning. And we're talking about whatever you want to talk about this morning. And I do believe that Bishop is calling the wrong number, but that's nonetheless. Bishop, you got the wrong number this time, boss. I text you the right number to call in. Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you, sir. What was I saying? This is one of those things when you have to really be concerned about your community. And there we go. Oh, Bishop, I hit the wrong button. You're going to have to call back. I'm learning this new system. We got a new system in now, and it's new, but we're gonna get through this. All righty, let's see if we can. I'm gonna see if I can raise him back up. How would I do this? What I would need to do is just go ahead and just see it. Oh no, that's okay. That's not the right number, son. You called yourself. Thank you very much. Okay, but here's the deal, folks. I want to look at some of the things that we can possibly consider getting done or doing as it relates to this traffic situation in our city. Folks are being killed, losing their lives, and all these hit and runs. It's attributed to folks not having not having the ability to be held accountable. It causes problems. I'm sorry about that, folks. Go ahead. Good morning, caller on the phone. Is that you, Bishop?
It is, sir.
Good morning.
I don't know what your subject is because I'm not.
Well, here's the deal. Let me let you know. Anytime you hear me on the air, there's never a subject. I want people to feel free to call in and talk about whatever they want, or add or do whatever we're talking about. This morning, I started off with this traffic situation in the city of St. Louis because I was talking to one of my customers on yesterday, and we were talking about how, in fact,
And I agree with you already. I know where you're going to. People jumping in front of you. They speeding like they crazy.
But here let's take it a step further. Let's take it a step further, Bishop. That's all and well, and I'm deeply concerned about all those things. But one of the main reasons I'm deeply concerned is because of the folks that's losing their lives, and the other side is about this insurance. Our insurance is constantly going up because of the number of accidents in giving zip codes and area codes. If you live in those areas, you're going to suffer because of all the accidents that are happening, and these accidents, in my opinion, are for the most part due to not having traffic laws enforced. There's no accountability as it relates to repercussions or consequences for running red lights. If you don't hit nobody, there's no consequences or repercussions. Now, here's the flip side of that. What I've recently was told is that for whatever reason, and I'll tell you what the reason is, the police department, many of the law enforcement agents, police, they don't write tickets anymore. And reason being is that it was a fallout when the state lost control of the police department back to the city. And now they're fighting to get it back to the state. And one of the strategies that they've been using is to pull back law enforcement, to police the neighborhoods less, so that the people can run amok. and justify bringing the state back in for a takeover. That's my assessment. That's my opinion. If anybody can disagree with that, I would like to know how and why. And one thing I want folk to understand, when you hear, anytime you hear me speak, if you ever hear me say something that's inaccurate or incorrect, I encourage you to correct me. I love correction. I want to be corrected because I would rather be corrected than walking around here like a fool thinking I'm knowing the truth. So if I'm misled or misinformed on any level, I encourage folks to correct me where I'm wrong. Go ahead, Bishop.
Well, you said a mouthful already, so I was up on the $50,000 grant this morning for housing in the St. Louis area. But of course, it's one of those things that run them up again, which program I need to look further into it to see who was really behind this program. Because
it's to my understanding, it's the St. Louis Development Corporation. Is what I was told, and Keith is going to be able to clear a lot of that up for us. He'll be on shortly here. I think that this information that Keith is going to bring us this morning is going to be really worth
and
listening.
I hope so, because I'm looking at it and I catch on pretty quickly. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but I'm in that box. So
you still can color a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 120% of the income, the average income of the medium income that's in that neighborhood. Hopefully, you're purchasing in a historical neighborhood. But if you think about that, if people are making at least six figures and you're 120% less than them, are you going to be able to afford to keep this even after getting this $50,000? Now, with me, I'd figure out a way to do it if I have to scrap down the alleys, okay? But everybody might not do that. So it could be another one of those broken programs and promises that has been given to us by, that's why I was wondering who was behind this program. I know it's federal. It's got to be federal money to be dropping $50,000, okay? I know it's federal, but I haven't dug into it as far as I can dig into it to see more about this program. And then what interests me was the grant money for buildings that you purchased to flip. Now that would be automatically good for a lot of people, electricians, various people, construction workers, carpenters, because you can get into the neighborhood, get grant money, fix up houses and flip them to people who could buy it. But it could work on the flip side to be gentrification as well. But of course, who am I? I'm just throwing out a few things.
When you speak about gentrification, Bishop, I was just talking to myself the other day as I was riding through my neighborhood, my old neighborhood and community. And this is just my personal opinion. I think it is horrible what has happened to our communities. All these vacant lots that you ride by and see, there were buildings there. And it's like they're all but gone. For the most part, a lot of buildings we've been, just tearing down buildings and haven't been building very much. I think that it's going to come a time in the days to come where folks are going to be moving into this, and I think that time is already coming upon us. Folks are going to be moving. I got it. Is this an incoming call? Yes, I got here. Okay. Good morning, caller. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
I think I unfortunately I did something wrong and I lost Bishop. But Bishop, if you're listening, just go ahead and call back. Good morning, Mr. Keith Antone.
Hello, Mr. Prince Carter.
Sir, welcome to the Prince Carter Show. We're going to be talking about these things as it relates to homes and homeowners and what we can do and how we can purchase buildings and so on and so forth. But we had a question about this $50,000 that we spoke about last week, the incentive for some folk to hopefully move back into the city because of the dwindling population. But give us some more insight about this $50,000 and the stipulations behind it.
Well, Mr. Carter, I'd be happy to. I had promised to come back on and talk about the wonderful, wonderful opportunity of a home ownership here in the city of St. Louis. The mayor, through the ARPA funds and SLDC, the St. Louis Development Corporation, has a program called Home STL, Home Buyer Assistance, where families can get up to $50,000 to help in the home buying process if you purchase a home in the city of St. Louis. These programs are happening in Detroit. This is how Detroit brought its neighborhoods back with programs similar to this. It's happening all around the country. There's a lot of grants out there. There's so much money that people are tapping into to buy homes for first-time home buyers. There's even money. There was a bank out of Chicago that was giving up to $65,000 to HBCU graduates. So what you should do, the best way to do this is, I'm going to give out our phone number several times, because this information in the process of buying a home can't be explained in 3 minutes. So I'm going to be giving a high-level overview. But the best thing to do is to get with a realtor that knows these programs, right? That does this every single day. Now, the way this thing works, Prince, it's 80% area of the medium income. You also will get points if you lived in one of the tracts, one of the targeted tracts. And there's a map. If you go out on the website, and I'm going to give the website out so folks can see this information themselves, and you can write it down. developstlouis.org/home STL. developstlouis.org/home STL. So I heard the bishop talking about, about people getting into these homes, and and like he said, he'll figure out a way how he can keep it once you get it. That's why they set them up on this income grid. People that are much smarter than me put together these programs, and they're set up for your success. This is why, in order to be eligible for these funds, they make you go to a home buyer's education course, right? It's the HUD-approved home buyer education course, right? Okay. So you can go out to see the home STL guidelines and eligibility criteria. But they set you up so that you don't fail. Some people are going to be first-generation home buyers, right? My father was a first-generation home buyer. All his life, he and his mother and sister lived in rentals, in apartments. So many people don't realize the possibilities of home ownership. But they come to us and they don't want to be homeowners. Well, I don't want to have to cut the grass. Well, okay, buy you a condo, or buy you a townhouse. Condo, the association takes care of that if you don't want to do that. But home ownership is one of the fastest ways to wealth in America. And this is the one thing that will help you in your portfolio. Every single millionaire in this country, one of their streams of income is real estate. Let me repeat that. Every single millionaire in this country owns real estate, and one of their streams of income is real estate. It is the one thing, I call it the equalizer, Brother Pinch, where you have your money, whether you black or white, you got the money, you can buy you a piece of the American dream. It is the only thing that God is not making any more of. He's not making no more land. He's making new big fancy cars. He's making new clothes. He's making a whole lot of other stuff. But he's not on earth. Now, we might have to go somewhere else. You're on point, bro.
Good morning, Bishop. Welcome to the program. Keith, that's the Bishop is joining us back. And you had a question earlier about that $50,000 you said? Bishop?
Yeah, I was wondering, I think he heard my question on that. this is federal money, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello? You already you really answered the question when you said it was HUD. That it's the first time buyer is just that's the largest amount I've ever heard before.
It is. And in my lifetime, it's the largest, other than the HBCU money. It is. It's so many pots of money out here, but you have to meet the criteria. Right. And so, Bishop, I'm glad you had brought up that question, because you are absolutely right. So over in East St. Louis, I saw it firsthand. They had so many programs that got people into the houses. But if anybody knows anything about real estate, the taxes over there in Southern Illinois are so daggone high that the people would lose their houses after a year or two because they couldn't pay the taxes. Okay, so yeah, some programs set you up for failure, but these programs now, they say, okay, well, we got to do something better. You know, we even have Bishop. I shared with Brother Prince last week. We have a house right now that we're selling, and we've got funds from the city and the government. They're putting over $250,000 into this house. Listen to the math: $250,000 in Baden. But I can't sell the house for over $170,000. Why? Because they're looking to get people to come back into the city of St. Louis, and they're willing to be what we call upside down on these properties. Instead of tearing them down and letting them be derelict buildings and going to the LRA, they're saying, let's put some money into it, and let's sell it for low to mod, which means low to moderate income. Let's price it so that someone in the low to moderate income track can purchase this home and be a homeowner and change the trajectory of their family's financial portfolio. And so all I'm saying to people is, and I'll say my number several times, if you call, I'll walk you through the process. I want to see homeowners, 314-391-0058, because I don't have enough time to go A to Z in this process.
Keith, if you don't mind, once again, for the hearing impaired, will you get that number out?
Yes, sir. It is 314-391-0058. And listen, and let me say this, Prince. If you don't call me, I'm okay with that. There are 8,999 other realtors in the St. Louis metropolitan area. Okay. Now, you're calling one of the best. You're calling one of the best when you call us, because you can go out and Google our company, Evergreen Residential Realty, and you'll see that 20 out of the 21 reviews are all 5-star. Now, you're calling one of the best. When you call us, when you get us as your realtors, you're calling one of the best. We're a one-stop shop. We do.
So Keith, if you don't mind, so excuse me, hold on for a second, Bishop. Keith, what you're saying is that if people are really serious about buying a home, you would take time out of your schedule to walk them through the process. Did I hear you correctly on that?
You damn right. Okay, I'm sorry, Bishop, but you are damn right. I will take time and I will walk you through, and it's a no-cost evaluation, right?
Sometimes that's what our people need. We need someone to guide them in the right direction so that they can be knowledgeable.
And listen, and Brother Prince, and if you want to, I'll put a tent out like the old school revival. We'll have Bishop come and open up in the opening and the closing with the prayer and put the word on them. I'll put a tent on your parking lot, and I'll come and I'll talk for as long as you want me to. We'll have an old school home ownership buying revival at King Prince Barbecue.
I love it. I'm all in on that. Anything that I can do to aid and assist in getting my people resources and information, I'm all in. You know,
absolutely.
Often.
Let me tell you some easy steps. That I'm going to suggest to people that they can do prior to contacting a real estate agent and a lender. First, check your credit. Check your credit score. And then, because they're going to do what they call D to I. That's debt, your debt
to income ratio.
To income. Yeah, exactly. That's right, Bishop. Your debt to income ratio. Okay? You're going to hear Anybody worth their salt that knows about this, they're going to talk about your debt to income ratio. So what does that mean? That means they look at how much your income is. Let's say it's $100. And what is your debt? Let's say it's 50. So your debt to income ratio is 2 to 1, right? It's 50%. And so they like to have you about 30 to 40, about 40%. What does that mean? That means they don't want to see you spending more than 40% of your dollar of your income in debt, right? So that means, let's just do simple math. If you got $10, they only want your debt to be $4, right? I do simple math for people because they can understand that. So they would like to see you about, if you make $10, at the $3 is perfect. A good credit score. They do it in the high fives, 560, 580. Now you're going to have to put more money down if you're in the high fives. They like to see you right about 620. If you're about 600, 620, you can get a pretty decent loan, and usually you can get what we call an FHA loan, right? So you have your FHA loan, you got your conventional loan. If you're a VA, that means that if you're a veteran, if you're a veteran, you can get a VA loan. That means they will pay 100%. You don't have to have any money down. They'll pay 100% for veterans, right? So there's a lot of different programs out there. I've gotten veterans homes. I've gotten the conventional loans. We've done the FHA, and then some people, almost 90% of my investors, they pay cash. That's another thing. You may say, Keith, well, listen, I don't want a home. I don't need a home. I already have my beautiful dream home. Okay. Do you want to do investment? Do you want to buy real estate for an investment purposes as a source of income, right? I try to suggest to a lot of young people, listen, buy you a duplex, right? Why? Because you can live in one, and then you can rent out the other one, and then it pays your note for both of you. You live rent-free, right? I wish somebody would have told me this when I was 19, 20, 25 and making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, right? Nobody told me this. So I'm saying we got to get the information out there about the wonderful, wonderful opportunity of home ownership. And if you have listeners out there that want to buy, they're small business owners and they want to buy commercial property, you can, again, call our firm. And so Bishop was asking me the name of our firm, and I want to give it to you one more time. It's Evergreen, all one word, Resimercial, RESIMERCIAL, Realty, Evergreen, Resimercial, Realty. Our phone number is 314-391-0058. We do free consultation. I ain't trying to sell nothing, and I'm saying it, and I'll say it again. If you don't call us, call a realtor. Call a realtor, and hopefully, if you're a person of color, you call a realtor of color. I'm just advocating for that because so many times I think,
And you advocating, and that's right. But I'm thinking, at this late day of the game, we shouldn't have to even advocate. We should know better, and the only way to do better is to know better. If we don't look to our own kind.
Brother Prince, let me tell you something, sir. In this day and time, 2024, there are still Negroes that think white folks' water is colder. I'm telling you, there are still Negroes. My wife and another friend, I'm not going to name this church, but my wife and another realtor was sitting up there, and they were talking to this brother who happened to be of African descent, a real African, and they were talking with him about doing a deal, blah, 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 blah. He was all, pro this, pro black, pro this. And do you know this sucker turned around and had a white realtor call them and said, I am now going to be representing this pastor for the church. This is the kind of twisted kind of BS we still got. Today, this ain't nothing last year. This just happened last week. Okay? So we still got folks that want to go and take money out of our community. Listen, I still say I have to advocate for that.
As you should. One of the things I've noticed a couple of years ago, we still have a lot of people that are plagued with that stereotype mentality about, what you said, the white man's water is colder. I witnessed with my own eyes a neighbor of mine who was having some work done on his house, and he hired a white company to do the work. Okay, the white company subcontracted it out to some black contractors. And when the man showed up and saw the black guys there, he told them to pack their stuff up and leave. He said he didn't hire them.
I am not surprised. And so often we look there first. Now, I'm saying, look, we're small business owners, okay? And we had different vendors. I'm saying that, you go where you get the best service. You spend your dollar where you think you're going to get the best return. And a couple of our vendors happen to not be of people of color. But that's who we get the best service for our clients, right? So I'm not saying I'm just gonna do black and black only, but I try to do black first, okay? And then but before black, I want best, okay? Okay. Now, if you can give me black and best together,
that's even better. Yeah, that's even better.
That's even better. But unfortunately, we have tried with some African American owned vendors who will remain nameless, and they failed. They didn't come to our standard. See, I tell people all the time, it's 9,000 realtors in the city of in the metropolitan area. It's about 300,000 people live in the city. That means there's 32 realtors for every person that lives in the city of St. Louis. You got some choices out there. So when you choose us, I know that you went past 8,999 other realtors. Right? So then we have to give you the service that you deserve. Again, I say we're BBB accredited, right? I don't take that lightly. Not all firms, white or black, are BBB accredited, right? Okay? So when I'm saying when you check us out, when you go out and you Google our company, it ain't what I say about our company. It's what the people say about our company. So
and that's what matters. That's really what matters.
That's what matters. I was trying to say earlier, we belong to an association called NAREB. It's the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, founded in 1947 in the basement of a church in Tampa, Florida. Right, we're the oldest advocacy group, black real estate group in the country, and we've been fighting for democracy and housing since 1947. Check us out, NAREB, NAREB.com. Okay, I'm telling you what God loves, and this is what we do. My wife is past president. I am the current membership and engagement chairman. Right. We eat, sleep, drink this. We go to all of the conferences. We're going to Atlanta next week to the Black Wealth Tour. We don't just talk this, we walk this. We'll be there for a whole week. Ain't nobody paying for us. We're investing in ourselves because that Black Wealth Tour is coming to St. Louis in April, and I'll be sharing more information about it. In New Orleans, they had 5,000 people come out to the Black Wealth Tour. I don't know how many thousands are going to be coming in Atlanta, but when you go to NAREB.com, NAREB.com, you'll see the Black Wealth Tour. People like Master P are there. People, a young man from Ralph Tresvant. Roddy DeVoe from New Edition. He's heavy in the real estate. A lot of these entertainers and people are heavy in the real estate. They have diversified their income, their streams of income, right? And so I'm telling you what God loves. You need to be seriously looking at this, my people. We really, really do, so that we can then have income and generational wealth and something that we can pass on to our kids other than a GoFundMe account. Okay? So
not the GoFundMe.
We need to do this, man. And like I said, if you don't call us, I'm okay with it. Okay?
But call somebody.
Call somebody that look like you. That's all I'm saying. There's 8,999 other realtors in this city, Brother Prince and Bishop, okay? I want you to call one that looks like us. Hopefully you call one that belongs to NAREB, okay? We're called locally the Realtors of Metropolitan St. Louis, right? We're always doing things in the community, and there are, and here's the thing, Chris, there are black realtors in this city who, on the backs of NARAD, are where you are right now, being able to be a what we call a realtor, who won't even come to our informational meetings, who won't even become a member. I'm like, are you kidding me? Won't even come to an informational meeting. There's another real problem. Okay, this is the oldest African American advocacy group of black people in home ownership. You should be busting down the doors to be a member.
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree. Keith, what would you say this morning to the person that's sitting out there that's listening to this, and they're renting, they're paying maybe let's be light on it. Let's say they're paying $700 to $800 a month in rent. And they've been on their job forever, and they just keep paying rent. What would you say to the person like that says, they're not going to give me no home?
What I would first say is call 314-391-0058. Sit down with me for 15 minutes, one-on-one. Sit down with me and let me show you. See, this is the thing. This is the education process. Let me walk you through the process. Or any realtor worth their salt. Hopefully it's someone, again, that looks like us. But they can show you how easy it is and hold your hand through the process and tell you and show you, listen, these are facts. This ain't something I'm making up. Anything that you're paying in rent based on your income, you're going to be in home ownership anywhere from 10 to 20% less. Right? We had a young lady come to us who was paying $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. I know her mom. Her mom and I worked together. She said, now, this is my baby, Keith. I said, okay, we're going to take care of your baby. My wife walked her through, and my wife got her first home, and she cut her monthly expenses for the roof over here by $300 to $500, right? I can't remember every scenario. But I can show you, I can walk you through the process, and I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to sit down with you, and even if you come and I walk you through the process, and you walk out and you go get your cousin who's a realtor who ain't that smart, but they're a realtor, and you use them. Okay, all right, good. I feel good about getting another homeowner. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're getting another one out there. I feel good.
You got the ball rolling and made it happen.
Made it happen. Make it happen, Captain. Okay, I speak to people all the time about home ownership. I taught a whole HUD class for the Urban League. It was we started at 5 and we ended at 9. It was like a 4-hour course that I took people and walked them through. Right, it was 15 people. 15.
And you walked them through the process.
And I walked them through the process. They are in the home ownership program over there at Urban League. Urban League has a great home ownership program. Better Family Life has one. Beyond Housing has one. Look, man, I'm giving you people. I'm pointing you in the right direction. Write it down. Hear me now and think about it later.
I didn't know. I didn't know that the Better Family Life had a homeowner program.
Oh man, they got a dynamic home ownership program over there.
Mm-hmm.
And all these programs have grants from anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 grants to help you with the down payment process. And get this, the $50,000 in the city of St. Louis, you can do that and have your other money. You can have other money. Other grants that you get with this. Mm-hmm. Okay? Wow. It can't get no easier. It can't get no easier, folks. I'm telling you, there's so many opportunities. The St. Joseph Housing Initiative. We have a house that we have teamed up with SLACO, the one I told you that the city and government put all this money in. It's out in Baden. And then right across the street from us, now you hear how I'm sending you to other places. The St. Joseph Housing Initiative has 3 houses over there, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe our house ain't the one for you, but they have programs in housing as well. So I'm giving you the name of programs that have housing and grant money. St. Joseph Housing Initiative, mm-hmm. Better Family Life, Beyond Housing, mm-hmm. Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis. I can.
The Urban League is doing a whole lot in the community right now, from where I'm sitting.
Oh man, we were at their 20th anniversary dinner last night. My wife and I, they celebrated 20th anniversary for their women's recognition program.
Mm-hmm.
Great program, great time. We had a great time, and like I said, when you come to us, I'll give you the names of 2 to 3 vendors. Right? I can't say you must use this vendor. Like you come to us, I'm going to give you 2 or 3 options, and you get a chance to interview who you want to get your mortgage with, right? Mm-hmm. This is what we do. We are fair. We have people that are in our network that will say, okay, now some of it, we may say, this is the only vendor we're going to use for this particular job, right? Mm-hmm. Or this is the only vendor we're going to use for this. This is the only one that we use because the level of their standard and level it meets our standards. But we will give you options. You may say, Keith, I talked to lender A, and I don't feel comfortable. Okay, here's lender B, C, D, E, F, and G, right? Mm-hmm. Call them and see who you feel comfortable with. So I keep reiterating my phone number, 314-391-0058, and just call us. I'm going to be open tomorrow in order to serve. I know it's Veterans Day, and I thank all of the veterans who are listening, but we are going to be open tomorrow because that's a day when people are off, right? Mm-hmm. We're open today. If you look at our website, I say we open 24/7. Why? Because I got to be there for when the people going to be there, okay? There's some people that's off on Sunday. We going to be there. There's people that's going to be off on Monday. Guess what? They still looking for homes. So we will be open to serve our veterans and any other citizens in this in the metropolitan area, okay?
That's a great thing. That's a great thing to be available like that. And to give people the options to be able to converse with you on Sundays and Mondays, which is probably their only off day. Some people work 6 days a week, and they're only off on Sundays.
You know, in your industry, a whole lot of restaurants are closed on Monday, right?
Right.
So we got to be open when the people are open, okay? Mm-hmm. And so the other thing too, by contacting, you may have listeners that are listening that are in the state of Alabama say, oh, well, okay, you just do real estate. We do it in all across the country, okay? Mm-hmm. We have, because we're in the NARAB Association, we have referral partners all across the country. When my 2 daughters, both down in Houston, had their houses built from the ground up, we got a realtor for them that we work with, that work with our daughters, right? That we have a referral partner network. So I can help you in Ohio, right? Mm-hmm. One of my childhood friends, her mother wanted to sell her house, and so she called me. And we both from Columbus, Ohio. I found a realtor that I met at the NARAB convention, and she took good care of her, got her about $30,000-$40,000 more than what she initially thought she was going to get, okay? Mm-hmm. We have referral partners all across the country. Anywhere you are, if you're listening, we can help you. Call us at 314-391-0058. We help you across the country. It ain't just here in Missouri, okay?
That's good information there, Keith. That's real good information. One of the things I want to piggyback off of is when you were talking about the other different realtors, and you acknowledged that there are other options. A lot of people don't feel comfortable doing that, and they just want to be about me, and don't want you to know about the other options. And I think that's something that we as a people, as a community, are going to have to learn how to do more and more, and that is try to share information as well as be willing to recognize other companies. Folks criticize me from time to time because I share other barbecue places on my page.
Because you know who you are, and you know whose you are.
Right.
Okay?
But if you're mad at me, okay, go to Red. I want you to go to Red. I like Red's barbecue myself, so I don't have a problem with encouraging people to go to Red's. If you're not going to come to me, go to Red's. I want you to go to Red's. I don't want you to go to Bandanas. I'd rather you go to Red's than Bandanas.
Brother Prince, because you're comfortable in your skin. You're my Facebook friend, right? So I want you to fact check me. You go on my page and scroll down for just the last week. Well, hell, it ain't got to be the last week. It could be the last couple days. You'll see where I am sharing other realtors' open houses. I'm sharing other realtors, people of color, their their successes. I'm congratulating them. I'm sharing. One is a very good friend of mine. She's doing a master class on home buying. I just shared her flyer this morning. Okay? Listen, what God has for me, God has for
Absolutely.
me. Okay?
Absolutely.
What he has for me, no man, no woman can take. I am confident in my skin. Listen, I had just this month, I have talked to 2 shops, other real estate companies, and teaching their people how to sell more, right? I got another one coming up in December. I am about sharing and building the wealth in my community. I can't get it all. I don't want it all, but I'm going to get my piece,
right?
Okay? What I'm telling people is, you're going to see me, man, I celebrate the other African-American realtors
That's right.
in this city.
As you should.
I celebrate them. As you should, Prince. And just like you, I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm going to get mine, okay? I tell them all the time, I'm going to get my piece. I'm going to get mine.
Because you're going to put in the work. You're going to put in the work to get it done.
I'm going to put in the work. I'm on this right here with you right now. I'm putting in the work. I'm making myself available. I want to be, like you said, the information highway. I want to be the information highway for black folk in home buying in the country. Okay? Call me. And all I'm saying is that that's what we got to be about. We can't be about the crabs in the barrel. We can't be about tearing each other down. You'll never hear my wife or myself talk bad about another black business, especially another black realtor. I'll have people come to me that had a horrible experience with an African-American realtor, and I'll say, it's so unfortunate that happened, but let's go and put that on the shelf, and let's move forward and get you in the home of your dreams, right? Because you're not going to get me to sit up here and bash. When I have a problem with a black business, I call that owner. I don't make a big scene and cuss them out. I'll call that owner or send them an email and say, hey, I didn't have a great experience, and I usually have great experience. I got a vendor that I use down in Houston, and I didn't get my product. And they tell me that, we didn't get I said, wait a minute, I got my confirmation number. I talked directly to the owner. Let me tell you what the owner said. He said, Keith, I know you usually only order 5 bags, but what I'm going to do for the inconvenience, I'm sending you 10 bags. I said, oh, look at God, okay? So what I'm saying is that I talk directly to the owner and say, hey, listen, didn't have a good experience. I usually have a great experience with you,
right?
Okay? In your service and your products, goods, and services. And it didn't happen this time. And I'm talking to you from one black entrepreneur to another so that you can do better. Fix that, right? Mm-hmm. You know, my wife didn't have a good experience in a restaurant, you know, with a server, right? She called over the sister, the manager, and she said, hey, listen, we come here all the time, and we didn't have a good experience with this particular person. Why don't you pull her to the side and check her? So because she was a young girl, young white sister. She said so that she can do better. Because you can't do better if you don't know better.
Right. If nobody's bringing it to your attention, you think you're doing everything the way it's supposed to be done.
That's what I'm saying, Brother Prince.
And you have to acknowledge these things when they happen and let them know. One of the processes that I have a sign in my window there. We guarantee everything we sell at my restaurant. And I do that because I can't check every order that goes out. I train folk, and I told them what to do and how to do it. But if it's not right, I don't want my customer to suffer. I want my customer. That's the reason all my customers have access to my phone number. I have some of my customers that may not. They call me at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we close at 6:30. You know, but that's the type of relationship that I've built with my customers because to me, my customers are what makes the business be a business. And you can't have a business without a customer.
And to that point, I don't detect no lie. You know, I will call you and say, I'm 10 minutes away, get my tips together. And when I come in, I give you my money. I know that you give me a discount. Put my money up there. I've never asked for a discount.
Never.
I've never asked for nothing free. But you know, because I'm a continuing customer, and you know how the other day, I was walking out with my tips. And you said, get a soda on me, brother. I said, look at God.
Right? Okay?
Look
at you.
Look at God.
Keith, we go
And
back.
so
We
I
go
said
back a
that-
ways, baby. So I have to look out for you.
And when I had my restaurant, you supported me, and never once did you come in and ask for nothing free or a discount.
Hey, those fried
Okay.
ribs was too good, Big Daddy.
I know. Listen, and I tell people, listen, if you say you support me, don't come in and ask for nothing free. You
Right.
don't go ask Bandana for nothing free. You don't go nowhere else and ask for nothing free. You don't go in McDonald's and say, is it free Friday? Okay? No. Spend your money. I spend my money with the people just like I spend with everybody else. I don't ask for nothing. You give me a discount, cool. I don't want to hit the heavy hookup. Okay?
Right.
I'm supporting you because I understand. You understand as a black entrepreneur, as long as you've been doing it, that it's important. You came in my restaurant and supported me. You never asked for no discount. And so back to home ownership. We got to get our people. 314-391-0058. See how I pivoted there? That's the old radio man.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Keith, I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
What would be your recommendation on the young folks getting involved with home ownership? What should they start? 18, 21, 30?
That is a great question. And in the largest group of unhoused folks with home ownership is this group of millennials, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're staying at home longer, saving their money. I get it. A lot of them have careers. They're getting out of school and they're working on their careers, and they're being, they're getting transferred around this, that, and the other. I'm suggesting that as soon as you have full-time employment,
mm-hmm.
whether that be 18, 21, 25, or 35, that you explore home ownership. You may not get that big 6-bedroom, 4-bath house right out the gate. Okay?
But you can work your way up to it.
But you can work your way up to it. And so I say there is no that you can start as soon as you have full-time employment, and if you're renting, you should be owning. And so that's the largest block. We are targeting that block across the country as an association. That's the largest block that we're trying to go after, because one of the things that happens is that they've been living, with roommates coming out of college, and they're sharing that cost, or they're living still with their parents. I have a couple of young ladies that I was working with that were living in their parents' home and wasn't paying anything, and they just said it's just too comfortable. One young lady, she makes really good money. She makes about $75,000-$80,000, but the student loans was kicking her butt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's different barriers that keep people from home ownership. But what I always say is, like I've been saying and preaching this morning, you need to call, because if you don't know, you don't know if you don't know, right?
Sometimes we just need to be herded in the right direction to get resources.
And sometimes, Prince, it's generational, right? If you grew up in the projects, I got some clients that parents grew up in the projects.
I grew up in the projects.
Yeah,
I grew up in the projects and loved it and proud of it.
Yeah, and so sometimes nobody in their family ever had a home, and they don't know, and they're scared to admit that they don't know. All right, it's okay that you don't know. If you don't know, you just don't know. But we have to preach it. My wife and I are advocates for home ownership, and we are always talking to anybody that will listen, especially our young folks. My wife does a phenomenal job of talking to my daughter's friends about home ownership. She works it into the conversation, right? We talk about it, and we're sharing, and we're we teaching what we're preaching, right?
Right.
Two of our daughters out of the 5, had homes built. One, she just don't want to get one, and then my son, my older son, he's not ready for one just yet. My younger son, he was right there, but he said, "Dad, I gotta think about this. This commitment. He's in the early stages of his career. He's moving around. He just started this job fresh out of college, so he knows that he's gonna do it. Because when I had the conversation with him a couple weeks ago when I was at his house, he's like, "Dad, I gotta buy me a home. All these rules and regulations." He said, "I gotta get me. I'm gonna buy." He was approved and everything. He was getting ready to move in. But because of the job that he has to be mobile. And so he's picking up 6 months. He may not even be there. He's been on his job since June. They already looking at maybe transferring him somewhere. So he's like, I got to wait till I get set, Dad. And then once I get set, I'm buying me a home. He said, this renting stuff is crazy. And so what I'm saying is we actually, teach what we preach and we encourage any and everybody about home ownership. So there's no age. You don't think, I got to wait till I'm 21 or I'm 25. No. Talk to a realtor.
One of the things I've noticed, Keith, is that if you really look around and you see how much people are paying in rent in various places, the homeowners mortgage is much cheaper than rent in most cases.
Absolutely, and you're going to get more home for your money. There's all kind of calculators out there. You don't have to call me. You can go out online, and these mortgage companies have these calculators they'll ask you a couple questions. What's your income? What's your debt? And then they'll show you your debt to income, okay? And they'll tell you whether or not you qualify. Hell, you can get qualified online. I'm just saying, get with someone that will walk you through the whole process so that you don't walk around blind and get somebody, because there are some dirty operators out here. Now, let me say this. There are some dirty operators. There are some, folk who aren't, exactly above board. And so they need to beware, so that's why I say, for you, any company or realtor that you work with, do a check, Google them. And I tell people before they sign with me, Prince, I give them my company name and I say, Google us first. I know you got referred to me because your friend got the super service and they love the services that we provide, but please Google me and my wife's company first. And then when you come back, you'll see that what I told you is the truth. Part of the process is called trust.
Hey, Keith, what would you say to the individuals out there that have been on their job, working forever and a day? They've been renting all their lives, and let's say they're 60 or older. Is it too late?
Absolutely not. Matter of fact, one of my veterans, brother, and I won't mention his name but they have a they own an African American business here in St. Louis, and I'm sure if I ask him, he would let me talk publicly about him. But I'm just going to say he's a veteran, and he had been in an accident, and so he was getting his pension from the government for service, and then he was getting when you get hurt,
disability.
What do they call that?
Disability,
right? So here he was, no job, a veteran and disability income, and I got him in a over $200,000 home.
Are you serious?
Out there.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. And he's 60. Let's see, I'll be 64. He's 67, 68. It's never too late. You're not too young and you're not too old for home ownership. He's never owned a home in his life. His sister, his mother, his brother, everybody in his family owned a home. But he was doing his thing, and he's like, Keith, I never stayed nowhere long enough to where I thought I wanted a home.
Man, I can relate to that one.
Yeah. But so no, Prince, great question. No, you're never too old. As long as you got some proof of income and you got a pretty decent credit score, there's programs out there for you. He got a VA loan. He didn't have to put down. And let me tell you how sweet the deal that I worked out for him. and even the other realtor who happens to be a fraternity brother of mine said, Keith, I ain't never done this before. I had the other side, the seller, pay for all of his inspections and every inspection that he had to have, and he had no money down. And he said, Keith, I have never done this in my 15 years of real estate. I've never done this before. I said, well, this is a veteran. He's on SSI, Social Security income, and he served our country, and he wants this house. and I need the complete inspection, all of it, the sewer, everything, sewer lateral. I need it all, and we got a deal. He came back and said, deal. We're going to do all the inspections. He said, Keith, I got a soft spot for veterans. I said, all right. I said, he served the country. I had another young lady who was a single mother in her late 20s, and she served our country, and she was going back to school to get her master's. And when I told the other side, which, by the way, didn't look like us, that she was a veteran, that guy, we asked for, I think, $5,000 or $6,000. He gave up $7,000. He said, tell her thank you for serving our country. You see, there's still people that respect and honor. With Veterans Day tomorrow, I wanted to tell those 2 Veterans Day stories because I want people to know we're here to serve you. We're open tomorrow because we know it's your day. So you served us, let us serve you. Veterans Day tomorrow. Thank you, veterans, for everything you've done.
I love the veterans, and I think oftentimes I say that they don't get their true props, and we don't do enough for the veterans in our country. And it breaks my heart to see homeless veterans. And I've noticed, I don't know the details of it, but they're building a what they call a tiny house community off of Cass and what is that? Is that Grand? Yeah, Cass and Grand. It's supposed to be for veterans and whatnot. I don't think there should be a homeless veteran. If you sacrifice and went and put your life on the line for this country, when you get back, you should have some resources available to help keep you in the right direction. So,
again, and there are, Prince, and unfortunately, and let me say that I agree 1,000% with you. I agree 1,000% with you on that. There should nobody that's ever served our country. There should not be a homeless veteran. But let me tell you this, Prince. There are some operators out there who will say, I'm a vet, and they're out there panhandling, and they ain't served not one day in their life. Right. So there are some people out there.
Yeah, those are fraud. They're frauds.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but you're right. There's a lot of services, but the reason why, and I work with a lot of veterans, and the reason why they don't know about the resources, and some of them have their, PTBS or whatever, the post-trauma disorder, and some of them have mental.
Many of them have that. And I can understand why. If you over there and your bullets and bombs going off all around you, that would traumatize anybody. You know?
Right. It would.
But we have to find ways to still help those, and that's something I'm praying for. But back to the subject of matter here, as it relates to the homes, Keith, what would you say to that person out there that just said, that says, I'd have tried to buy this house 4 or 5 times. I'd have went here and I'd have did this, and I keep getting turned down, and they about just didn't giving up. So what would you say to the person that has given up from trying to buy a home? What would you say to inspire that person, and what direction would you point them in?
I would tell them to call 314-391-0058. And the reason why I say that, because what we would do, we would sit down and look at why you're getting turned down. Is it your credit? Then we have credit repair people, right? All of my lenders, all of the lenders that I call my referral partners or vendor partners, they have programs and people ready to help you. I have organizations that are ready to help you, that will guide you through the process. And that's why I say, when you go through Beyond Housing or Better Family Life or Urban League, their housing program, the HUD certified housing program. Now, let me tell you what that does. That, once you go through their program, then you get money for a federal housing, FHA, right? Mm-hmm. Federal housing assistance. And so once you go through their program and you graduate and you get your certificate, you now qualify for that free money. Let me say that again. Free money.
Don't have to pay it back. Don't have to pay it back.
All you have to do, a lot of them are tied. There are some restrictions, right? So that means if you get it, you may have to live in this home for 5 years, or if you move out in year 4, you got to pay back, year 5's money. If you move out in year 3, you got to pay back 2 years' money. So there are some things that you have to do. But hey, most people stay in their home. the average is 5 to 7 years. If you're not moving or in the military, moving around, or your job is moving around. So that's the average. That's the national average is 5 to 7 years. So what I'm telling people is call or get with a good realtor that can look at your file and see where the hiccups are. Maybe you changing jobs, and you staying on a job for 9, 10 months. You're not staying on the length of employment. It could be you've got some disparaging things on your credit report that you need to clean up. A lot of this is with a good credit repair company. They can fix these things, and I've seen it happen in as little as 2 to 3 months, where in some it takes 6 months. The lady I'm working with right now, her and her daughter have a $250,000 pre-approval, right? I've been working with her for over a year, okay? Waiting on her to get ready. See, it ain't that you can just jump out there, oh, I'm ready right now. No.
It don't work like that.
It don't
work like that. Hey, Keith, one other thing here. When you talk about the credit, I was in a debate with somebody, and I'm trying to do some more research to find out whether it's true or not. A lot of people suffer on their credit because of hospital bills. Somebody was telling me that they're not supposed to be able to utilize that to impact your credit. Do you know if that's true or not?
It's exactly true. Now, the ones that are on your credit report now, those hospital bills and their reports, they're going to stay. But as of the last couple of months or so, some new guidelines came down that.
Oh, that's where they came. That's where they came from.
Right,
this is something.
right.
Okay, so they can't now. They can't moving forward. They can't add it to your credit. Is what you're telling me.
That's what I'm telling you. So, but they're going to get more aggressive on the collection. They're going to find other ways to get with you. They may even come on your job and hire. Got some people that send some stuff to your job and embarrass you. Mm-hmm. But here's what I want to tell people too, Prince. And this is something else that's new and that people should know. If you are paying rent, find out if, a lot of people, are paying rent to individuals, but find out if whoever you're paying rent to, the company, is reporting to the credit bureau, because now what they want to see is your different lines, your credit history, right? And so they want to see the payment history. So, whether it be a credit card, whether it be your car note, now your rent credit history, rent payment can be part of your, they like to see you have three lines of something that you're paying consistently on. Credit card, and it could be, that's why a lot of people, 2 or 3 credit cards you're paying consistently on, and you got them. Keep your credit cards always with a 50, preferably 40% balance. Only 40% of it, and don't keep them maxed out. That's not a good look. Mm-hmm. Even if you're making a payment and you keep them maxed out, that hurts you. But if who you're paying your rent to is not reporting, ask them would they start reporting, or ask them when you get ready to go. And again, this is why you work with someone who knows this. Be able to get your rent record, especially if it's good. If you're paying an individual, that will give you a letter when you get ready to go out here that says, Prince Carter has been paying his rent. He's been a tenant of mine for 3 years. He's never missed, never late, right? When we were moving to our home we have right now, we had downsized, and so we were renting to wait to get our new place, right? So our landlord, we were there 4 years, was able to provide a letter that said excellent payment history, because she was an individual, and excellent credit history, and never late, payment on time.
One of the things that I've adapted to doing over these last few years, I don't send checks and money. I just pay everything through my bank account. So that way I got everything. I can print out everything, who I paid, when I paid them, where I paid. And that's a track record that I can keep myself. And if someone want to know how I've been paying my bills and you can look at this this report rather from my bank statement and see the payment history from my bank statement.
Prince, and that's an excellent point. Let me tell you this. I had a young lady when she was, and I was preparing her to buy her home. She always paid, now I'm not a lender, but she always paid through her Cash App. So the lender asked, please, in the memo section, she put rent for boom, 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 boom. Well, she was able to provide 1 year of her Cash App receipts, because you can go back in there. When I'm doing my taxes, I go back through my Cash App, my Zelle, and I can see, I'm like you, I want a paper trail.
Right.
I want a paper trail. Hey, folks, if you out there, you paying rent, and you're paying to an individual, make sure that you get a rent receipt with the date on it and keep those receipts. So if you're paying cash or whatever you're paying, so that you have a record. You want to be able to start now. These are the little things that you can be doing out there now, renters, on your path to home ownership. Start with the documentation. Another thing that I can tell small business owners, and you'll be able to relate to this, pay your taxes. Because what they're going to want, if you're an entrepreneur, even whether you're a barber or beautician, they're going to want to see 2, sometimes 3 years of your tax return. Well, a lot of us in cash businesses, we want to be slick. What we want to do is, if we make $50,000, but we only want to report 10. Right?
It don't work like that. That'll get you in trouble, boss.
Well, yeah. Not only will it get your butt thrown in the sing, but now you want to buy a house. Well, I look at your tax return, man. You only make $10,000. No, man, I make $50,000. That's all I told. Oh, okay. All right. So you're gonna have to pay the piper.
One of the things I learned with business, Keith, and I'm not totally knowledgeable on different tax laws and whatnot. I'm good with numbers, so I had to hire a CPA to do my taxes every month so that I can make sure they're done right. So I went and got a professional that's their expertise is taxes. I pay them every month to keep my books straight.
Listen, we have, my wife and I have been together 26 years. For 26 years, we have had a CPA. I don't even do an accountant. We do a CPA. Why? Because I want them to keep my butt out of jail. The other thing is that we were able to take advantage during COVID because we reported all of our income. We were able to report during COVID to get the PPP money, right? A lot of people wasn't getting it because, well, you wasn't reporting nothing, or you were trying to underreport. So it just pays so you can stay out of jail and have freedom. It pays to tell the truth. So I tell entrepreneurs, hey, man, listen, pay
them taxes. Pay them taxes.
Pay your taxes, man.
I mean, and that's one of the things I pride myself on, man. I had when I got this accountant, who is, by the way, a CPA, and she just recently retired because of her dementia. She was suffering from early stages of dementia. But I went right after that, went right to another one, and got somebody to continue to do those taxes and keep those records so that when necessary, they are available.
Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So one of the other things I wanted to talk about this morning, Keith, what would do you have any advice at all for people that are homeowners that have been paying and they're in their homes and whatever circumstances, lost their job or whatever, before they lose their home? Are there any resources or anything that they can do to maintain their home?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There are programs out there. First of all, if you get behind, whether or not you lose your loss of income or whatever, and you see yourself getting ready to get behind, you can go and different lenders. I know when I was with Wells Fargo, they had a deferment program, right? So that they could take and defer your payment. That's where they take, okay, this payment and put it on the back end. Say you got 50 payments that you got to make. So they take this one payment, you on payment, 38. Man, I'm in a jam. So they take 38, put it back behind 50. And then maybe they have to do that for 2 or 3 months. Sometimes, you have what they call forbearance. and then you have deferred, where they're able to put your payments on the backside of the loan, right? A lot of times with cars, I know a situation when my business was my payment was like $700, and my business was starting to take a little lick, and I knew I was coming into a slow period. So I went and I said, hey, can we renegotiate my payment? I can do $450, $500. Let's just put, give me a new payment date and reduce my payment. I'm not making that kind of money now to do that. You'll be surprised. And so with the people that I had my car with, I was able to do that. I went from $700 down to a $500 payment, right? But you must talk to these people.
Communication
is key. Running away from them, hanging up on them, not
avoiding them.
That doesn't work. And so I tell people to first contact your lender, your direct contact. If you have Bob Johnson as your point person, start with old Bob. Okay, hey Bob, listen, man, I'm getting some rough times. I got laid off, or we get ready to go on strike. Sometimes, like these people out here got great jobs. That's why another thing with the home ownership path, I tell folks to start putting away some money. Pay yourself first. When you get your money, don't be so strapped that you can't even go to the movie between paychecks. Take you a percentage of your money that you setting away, what they call the rainy day fund, right? Take and pay yourself first, 10%, 20%. We should, now, sometimes you have to tap into it, but we should have anywhere from 3 to 6 months reserve, right? And that's that's not a lot of money. But
no, it's not.
If you don't work for 6 months, you got enough to where you can pay all your bills for the next 6 months. And as entrepreneurs, Prince, we got to live like that.
Absolutely.
We have to, we're 100% entrepreneurs. So we have to know that we know when your slow periods are. Know when you need to double up on something so you ain't got to worry about it come December, January. In real estate, we know that things start to slow down a little bit after families and stuff get in school in September. And it's, and then they really almost hit the brakes. That's why a lot of real estate people and people in the food truck industry take vacations in December and January when they know they have very, very little activity. Well, the way we built our business model is we don't depend just on the selling and buying of homes, right? We do property management. We have commercial. We do leasing. And so we have diversified. About 85% of my clients are investors who are buying. They're not buying and selling year round. They are moving and grooving, right? We got 4 or 5 deals that we're going to close in the next 30 days. Mm-hmm. This is when a lot of realtors it's slow for them. That's why we're able to go to Atlanta for a week and be away from our business. But I tell people, you're coming in on this chapter. We're 4 years in. The first years too, it was tough. We was 3, 4, 5 months behind in our payment for our office space. We used to go in and call our office phone from the other room just to hear it ring, just to see, just to hear it ring. We'd be excited just hearing our office phone
not to cut you off. I just got a text from one of our listeners, and she was asked about your last name. It's Keith Antone. And Keith, if you don't mind, one more time for the hearing impaired, give them your contact information. She says she's going to call you, and she appreciates the program this morning. So
314 391
00
58.
Let's do it one more time for the hearing impaired.
314
391
0058.
0058. Keith Antone is his name.
And she can call me. And she can call me today.
Right. Well, as a matter of fact, she probably can call you now because we got to get ready to get out of here.
I think I'm hearing
Keith, as always, we're gonna bring back more information, and we're gonna do a part 2 to this next week to get more questions and more information about owning homes, and let's stop being renters.
And this is what I'm going to do too, Prince. What I'm going to do, because you're an advocate for this too, and maybe we'll start a trend here. I'm going to get some brochures and stuff about home ownership, and I'm going to bring them down to the shop when I get back in town, and I'm going to leave information there for folks, and and I'll leave my cards there as well. That when they get their rib tip sandwich, they can get some knowledge on home ownership.
Right, and we got to put that tip together. We're gonna make it a special. We got to see what the weather gonna look like and do something out there and encourage folks to come out and get that information.
Well, or even if we don't do a tent, let's do a church in the neighborhood where it could be Princess Barbecue and Evergreen Residential sponsors.
Let's do it. I'm all in. I'm all in, my friend. I'm all in because anything I can do to help my people home, I'm all for it.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks so much for your time this morning. That's Keith Antone. Continue to listen. Continue to call. This is the Prince Carter Show. I had a ball through it all. May God bless all. We'll be back next week with more information. Superhighway.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever. More families in trouble. More and more people who need help but can't find it.